Between the Ribs with host Jonathan Morris, fourth-generation farmer. First-hand insight into farming, faith, and family, as only Jonathan can bring. Between the Ribs. Between the Ribs on Florida Man Radio.
What's cracking like all y'all? It's Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris, and we are here on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I don't know exactly where I want to start, to be honest with you. I'm going back and forth between the UAW and politicians that are too big for their people. You want to vote real quick? You want to take a quick vote while
Just
I sip on my Red
between
Bull?
us? Mm-hmm. Okay. What is the vote?
What'd you vote for?
Yes.
All right, I'm going with that one then. I'm going with the UAW.
Wait, no.
Oh, start with the politicians?
Oh, whatever you want.
All right, yeah, it's my show. I'll do whatever I want. How about that?
It is.
First of all, real quick, guys, Between the Ribs, Morris Family Farms Organic Meats. If you're local to Lake Mary, 101 North Country Club Road is our butcher shop. Heather Hippopotamus over there, the producer, wave to the people, Heather. Hello, people. Has been doing some fantastic videos of us at the shop on the farm. You got to go check that out. We broke down a sirloin, a picanha, pork loin.
Oh my gosh, that was just amazing to watch live.
And the ribeye.
And you kept all your fingers. That was, bonus.
Yeah, so Grandpa taught us to tuck what you want to keep. So these are what you want to keep. So when you cut, you tuck. And when you hold the meat, you tuck. You don't cut like this. You tuck what you want to keep.
For those of y'all who can't see him, he's holding up his fingers and curling them under.
Oh, that's right. For the
radio.
For the radio people. At some point, I'll have to get an app on the phone that the radio can see me. I guess it wouldn't be the radio, then it'd be the phone. Whatever. Let's continue on. So 407-402-5686. Morris Family Farms Organic Meats. We are your local farmer, your food, your farm. Check us out. Now, oh my goodness, where did I want to go with this? I had a massive plan because you've been in a okay. I have not been. Well, I tell people all the time I'm still an employee because I have multiple bosses. People are like, oh, it must be nice to be self-employed. Nobody tell you what to do. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many texts and messages we get?
It'd be so much easier to have that job where you just go in, clock in, do your job, and clock out.
Yes, and you got like maybe a manager and then an owner.
Right.
Like, and I'm not making fun of the lady because I don't know her, but just to give you an idea of how many bosses I have. I had never heard of this lady before. She's up in Fort Walton, and we're actually going to meet her in Niceville, and I'm sure she's a lovely lady. And I don't get offended anymore with posts because there's no context, there's no volume. You just see it and assume they're yelling at you or assume they're mad, and then you realize, no, they were just typing, so no big deal. So I'm not upset. I'm not going to say the lady's name. She seems like a very nice person. We've had a few interactions back and forth. But just on a random Facebook post, I get a response from her. Why can't I get my questions answered on Messenger? And I was like, I don't know. Why can't you? So I looked at Messenger. There were no messengers. So I answered back, man, I don't have any messages from you to answer. No questions to answer. Please check who you're messaging and check me out. So then she did. She messaged me, and we talked about ordering meat in a small family. They didn't want a whole meat box. So I told her I'd accommodate you any way possible. So that's just one example of how many bosses I have, because if
every client,
I hate client, but every customer, every extended family member, everybody, they're easy people like Todd. Todd's easy. Todd's like, man, put it in a box and send it to me. You know what I mean? But I still got to send it to him in order for him. I'm sure, knowing Todd, I'm sure he'd give me a couple months of pay if I messed him up, and he'd be like, Jonathan, catch me up down the road. He's that type of dude. But everybody wants what they want. They want what they order. They want what they ask for. They want the service that they're paying for. And I am the servicee, so to speak, representation.
Yeah, the bonus is that you're a local farmer, so they feel like that's part of the service. You have to know them and converse.
And I'm not complaining. Trust me. I like to converse. I like to talk. I used to hate people, but I still loved the people I loved. Now I'm learning to love more people. I said all that to say, I enjoy making more money for my family, having some security, knowing that we can pay for the stuff we need to pay for, go on a couple vacations, maybe buy a boat, maybe retire one day. I probably never stop working, but get out of the rip and the roar where it's like, hey, where's Jonathan? Oh, he's out on the farm with the cows, and his son or his
4
grandson.
a.m. grind.
Yeah, or his son or his grandson's doing all the hustling. He's just hanging out with the cows and, mowing on a tractor or something simple. So I'll probably work till I die. But so I want to pretense this story with that. I get people, and I used to have a job. I haven't had a paycheck job since 1999, where you go to a place. I mean, I guess the radio stuff is kind of that way when we were doing that at JVC. But other than that, I never went to a place and got a paycheck. Like I had to go earn the paycheck, kill a cow, sell green beans, sell some corn, mow somebody's field.
Hustle.
Yeah, that's how I earned my money. So I understand back 1999 prior, when I did different types of work, that you want a paycheck, you want to be treated fairly. You don't want to be rip and ran and run through like a $2 whore. You want your boss to take care of you. You want to get what you deserve. But at what cost? Right? Kamala Harris, and I forgot to get the clip. I don't know if we can do it after the break. Maybe I'll save that one for after. Can you do a clip that fast during the break?
Maybe.
I got a clip of her talking about the unions and why you should be thankful for the unions. And I come from union workforce back in the sugar mill when a lot of people were unionized, and even though we were a right to work state. But here's my question. The UAW, the United Auto Workers of the world, whatever, America, their president, Sean Fain, is just high-fiving, hooting and hollering. He's so excited about the win for workers. That's what he's calling it. The success marks a significant win for workers about long-term impact and financial stability. But I want you to understand the hypocrisy of this. All right? The hypocrisy. He says, it says a success marks a significant win for workers, plural.
For the ones that still have a job.
There you go. Spoiler alert. For the ones that are still working. For workers that got their raises, concerns among suppliers about long-term impact on their financial stability. So he's saying that, meaning we're getting the raises for the people. We don't care about the company's long-term stability. As long as we get the short-term pay raises, so we get a perceived win. It ain't a real win. It's a perceived win. It's like the touchdown, the long bomb touchdown, and you're celebrating in the end zone, and then you see the yellow flag, and you got to take it back 50 yards because it was pass interference or offensive holding or, a clip block or whatever. So they're in the touchdown. They're in the end zone celebrating, but the yellow flag is half the workforce is going to get laid off. In Michigan, at different plants, there's a Magna International. Now, not the Magna for Walton that I get our supplies from. This is a Magna International Corporation. It's a company that builds for electric car dealers. So the electric car places, they have their contractors that build certain parts. American Axle Manufacturer, they build the axles for these electric cars, right? So Fain is celebrating that they got a 30% increase in their pay. Mandatory, right? They won. They did a strike, 3-4 day strike, shut the facilities down, boycott,
Right, picket line and
picket
everything.
line, all that. And then the people were like, all right, we got to go back to work. So it was a mandatory non-negotiable contract that the UAW signed with these 3 distributors, okay? 30% increase in pay.
Sounds like a great deal.
He says, we fought harder than ever. This is the Vice President Wayman Halty of the UAW, local chapter 155. The gains achieved are unprecedented, according to Halty, reflecting the influence of Fain's directive to negotiate more aggressively. And then the however comes in. In the Bible, it's like it tells you something, and then it says therefore. Like you got to go back and see what the therefore is there for. Do you read the Bible?
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about. I just it's like when someone has a statement and then they say but, then nothing else in front of the but matters.
Right. It's like I love you, but.
Right.
I'm sorry, but.
Right.
Right. We got you your money, but. However, we got you your money. We won. However, the 3 automakers in Detroit, now these 3 contract manufacturers are all prepared for what Lear Corporation in Wentzville went through 2.5 years ago. So they got the same fight for the Lear Corporation, all right? 30% pay increases, time off, sick pay, maternity leave, over and above what is standard in the industry. Now, cars are already expensive right now. The price of automobiles are higher than they've ever been. You can't hardly get a good used car for under $10,000.
Oh, that's so true.
Okay.
That is so true.
Now, we're talking about the electrical industry. And I don't cry for them because I'm not really an electrical guy. And I don't want electrical cars taking over the world because they're not sustainable.
Right.
So I'm not really necessarily upset about the electrical industry, but I'm upset about the way the union reps have represented themselves, represented the people they supposedly represent, bash these companies to the ground, and now the people that are going to pay are the employees. The company's not going to give up their profit. The UAW is not giving back their due fees. They're still collecting their fees, and everything that they get, half of the workforce for Lear Corporation was laid off after the 30% pay increase wage after the 3-day strike. This is what he says, right? The Lear CEO, Ray Scott, he says, this emphasized the pressure it places on suppliers, managers to manage our rising costs. He indicated that automation will be the key to mitigating,
yeah, it's okay.
I speak terrible English, to mitigating these costs, with the company now investing heavily in automation to maintain profitability. 50% of the workforce got let go.
Automation is always bad for the workers.
So who wins? Who wins in these deals?
The owners who aren't having to spend as much to make just as much. The
Right.
owners of the company, the big guy, whoever that is in India, any of these industries.
Right, they still win. There's never power to the people. We're going to rise up against, that rise against the machine? No, you rose all right and a machine took your spot.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but that's what it is. Right here, look, right here. Michigan has dropped by over 50% of manual labor in the past 25 years. Similar trends across the country. As higher and higher labor costs continue to strain the industry, there is a move to automation and a bigger move to offshore production. It is expected to continue to accelerate to deal with these conditions. So this is my question to everybody who works. And Heather, would you rather, you work there, no, here's my thing. Would you rather get with all the other producers in Florida and demand that people who do shows have to pay 30%, 40% higher, and you've got to give me 4 days a week off, and we can't record more than 2 hours at a time without a potty break, and we can't do this, and we have to have ice cold sodas in the fridge, and all this.
The potty break is mandatory.
Yeah, like I gotta let you go. Like you'd be like, "Hey, boss, I know we're not a commercial, but I gotta go. It's my 2 hour potty break." Okay. Would you rather work and enjoy your job and have money? And I know this may sound bad, but would you rather work and know everybody else is working, or are you willing to roll the dice with your job or somebody else's job to get some people 50% raises?
No, I would just work. I've always been the type to, you just push through, you keep going.
And you build.
Right.
And you pray that the people.
You do your job better than the next person. You try to do better than the next person.
Yeah, because it's work. It's a incentive-based system. Work is an incentive-based system.
It is.
The more you work, the more you make, the more you earn, hopefully the more you keep, hopefully the more raises and advancements you get.
Yeah.
And I understand there's glass ceilings that some people never break through. But that's a whole different ballgame. This is a general consensus that UAW is doing. When we get back, Kamala Harris weighs in on unions and why you should be so thankful for them. And then we're going to go into the largest cattle feedlot in America. We'll be right back. They call me offensive, controversial. There's only two genders, boys and girls.